radioactive water from the crippled Fukushima nuclear power plant. In the first face-to-face meeting both leaders have had in a year, Mr. Kishida also expressed concern over China's maritime activities in the East China Sea, including areas near the group of islands known as the Senkaku Islands in Japan and the Diaoyu Islands in China. Ties between the two neighbors have been strained for years in a territorial row over the islands which lie northeast of Taiwan and are controlled by Japan.
That was the BBC's Shaima Khalil. Holiday shopping season is upon us. It has actually been upon us for a while, since October. Retailers are tamping down expectations. Company after company has now come out with forecasts that the final months of the year will probably be underwhelming. They're already seeing consumers pulling back. Marketplace's Nova Safo has more.
We've gotten a parade of quarterly results now from major retailers, and what have we heard?
That the consumer is still spending, but they're spending judiciously and selectively.
That's Joe Feldman of the Telsey Advisory Group. Bath & Body Works and Gap this week said customers are getting pickier. Target predicted a holiday sales decline.
The consumer is definitely looking for deals. We've seen that the retail community has started the holiday season in October at this point.
Consumers are retrenching because they had been spending robustly. Retail sales fell in October for the first time in 6 months. Even at Walmart, where a deal-seeking shopper might go, there were signs of customer caution in October. Here's Chief Financial Officer John David Rainey in an earnings call with analysts.
We're seeing credit tightening. We've seen consumer balance sheets that are getting back close to pre-pandemic levels. You've got repayment of student loans, which affects about 27 million Americans. So all of these things could be contributing.
Still, Rainey said Walmart will likely benefit from bargain hunting shoppers. Same at the parent company of discount chains TJ Maxx and Marshalls, which reported a strong start to its holiday sales period. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Members of the United Auto Workers Union have voted to approve a new contract with General Motors, making GM's workers the first to approve an agreement. It passed with 54.7% in favor, which actually makes it significantly less popular than the agreements negotiated at Ford and Stellantis. Early voting numbers show contracts passing at those companies by a 2/3 majority. All right, let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all up in the 1 to 0.3% range, with the Dow futures up 105 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 4.417%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Affinity, provider of the CRM for the private capital relationship economy. Affinity knows who has the best relationship with the right startup. Affinity knows. Learn more at affinity.co/marketplace. And by Fidelity. A dedicated Fidelity advisor can help create a wealth plan for a full financial picture. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC.
The National Congress of American Indians, NCAI, convened in New Orleans this week, with tribal leaders from all over the country gathering to share updates and discuss policy priorities, many of those related to tribal economies. Everything from credit access to land and energy development was on the agenda. Marketplace's Savannah Marr has more.
One barrier to growing tribal economies is a lack of capital, says Chris James with the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development.
Historically, a lot of times we have not had access to credit.
At NCAI this week, James's organization pushed for changes to make federal farm, business, and home loans more attainable in Indian country. James also wants to see tribally run enterprises thinking globally.
Our Native American businesses are often thinking export is just getting a good outside of our community.
But with some federal support, he says they could be trading internationally. Delegates also talked about shoring up tribal food supply chains, says Carly Griffith Hotvet with the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative.
If we want to be sovereign and feed our own people, we need to have those means of getting food on the table from a processing perspective.
Next month, tribal leaders will bring these priorities to the annual White House Tribal Nations Summit. I'm Savannah Marr for Marketplace.
Coming up next hour, we are talking about the new Scorsese film in theaters now, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's closely based on a nonfiction book about how members of the Osage tribe were targeted for their oil wealth. More on that at marketplace.org, too. In New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.